All right. Good night, everyone. So it's past midnight right now, and I've spent about 6 hours on a really small issue today. Right. Let me show you what the thing is, what the problem is. So you see this arrow animation on our website. Um, this thing alone takes about 150 kilobytes, which is beyond acceptable compared to like everything else on the website except this image is less than 150 kilobytes right now, right? So I think it's time to get rid of this. And I've been so I was like, maybe I can like replace it with something simpler, maybe a CSS animation, like maybe maybe arrows, much something that looks much simpler and cleaner. But at the same time, I quite like this because this is unique to my website, right? This is only on my website because I've made it. So I wanted to keep this, and I'm gonna quit Spotify. No need for music. Um, yeah, so I wanted to keep this, but I didn't want to. But I didn't know how because up until this point, I thought the only way that you could have animations like this was um, with the help of Lottie, which is the framework that is huge, and yeah, it's the majority of my React bundle size right now. But I've done lots of research. As I said, I've spent more than 6 hours trying to figure stuff out today. This is what I came up with. This huge thing this is what I came up with. It's ugly, I know. Okay, let's first of all let's go back to Google Chrome. So I was doing some research and I found out you can make objects follow certain paths via just some CSS, and it looks really clean. And then I kept experimenting, and I've done something that looks like this, which is fine. But it turns out Safari doesn't support this, and Safari supports an older API, which allows us to mimic the same behavior. But figuring out all of these things, it was just too difficult. Anyway, I've spent way too long on this, but I think it was worth the effort. I think I can close this one now, but I'll let it stay open. So I've been reading all of these things, like how to draw rectangles and arrows and stuff, stroke animations. This web page explains how the stroke animations work, the line animations. So if you want to do something like this, make sure to read this first. This is really important. Read this first and then come back to this video. And I was experimenting with some stuff locally. There's a little arrow that I did, but I've decided not to use it anymore because this is not nice, right? This is not unique. And then I read this website. This guy makes really cool animations as well. We can close this one. It's not that important. Um, so people have been asking for alternatives. They couldn't find one. Then I've discovered this animate motion, which is an older API, which is deprecated, and maybe it still works. So if it works in Safari, it almost has to work in Google Chrome, right? So let's just start the video by trying that. So this is Google Chrome. You're going to open a new tab, paste the link in, and then I'm going to copy this link, this code, and paste this in so we can start testing it. Okay. I think it will, yeah. Okay. If something works in Safari, it's almost guaranteed to work in Chrome. Like most of the challenging stuff, it comes from other browsers. Chrome is excellent when it comes to support for every API out there. That's why the market share is so high. But it must be very difficult to, like, how do you call it? Compete with Google Chrome because it's open source, and yeah, many people are working on it at the same time. But Safari, only Apple's engineers are working on it probably. Anyway, I think Apple's doing a great job with Safari. It's super fast. Also, developer tools are really nice as well. Anyway, let's not get carried away. This is probably gonna be a long stream because I'm gonna put this in my website. Okay, let me explain you how this thing works first. Okay, so this is an SVG, right? And SVG consists of several paths, polygons, other stuff. Okay, let's go through all of them one by one. So this is not required anymore. We can get rid of that. Okay, let's refresh the page. Yeah. Okay, so first of all, I define a polygon, and this is how you define a rectangle in SVG format. Like you just type this out, and it just spits your triangle. And this is how I've drawn the triangle. I've used Adobe Illustrator to draw the triangle, and then I've opened that SVG with Sublime Text, grabbed the path points from there, and then I pasted all of those into here, and then I've drawn this thing using Adobe Illustrator, which looks similar to what I have in my current website, but I think this is better. Like, it uses proper circles instead of just hand drawn stuff. Okay, so if you open that one in Illustrator, then it gives you this. I've copied and pasted this path. So what animate motion does is it follows the path that you give using the object that you have. So it makes your object follow a certain path, right? And then I have another path that I specify in my SVG. This path gets picked up by this dash animation, and then this dash animation draws this from the beginning until the end, and then this is the length of the path. Again, if these things probably don't make any sense to you if you're not familiar with these things, you have to read this first. Like, you absolutely need to read this through if you want to understand what these things are, what those numbers mean. Okay, having said all of those things, I think it's time to put this into the website and get rid of Lottie and save 150 kilobytes, I assume. We'll see how much we save. I'm sure this looks really confusing to you. I have lots of questions as well, like how am I gonna make this start when the website loads, and then when am I gonna make this start? Anyway, yeah, let's get started. This is what I have right now. I've spent 6 hours on this. My brain is like, how would I describe my brain? Like microwave cheese. Yeah, I'm tired. It's past midnight. It's almost 1 a.m. in the night, and I'm still working on this. Unbelievable, but okay, it's time. Let's put this into our website. So we have no changes. We are running a production version of our website right now, and let's close all of those things except our arrow animation. So this is the component that we're going to modify, right? Oh, by the way, why is this? Okay, right. This is the current arrow animation component that gives us this arrow animation when the website loads. This is a Lottie animation, and I've made this animation using Adobe Illustrator. Sorry, not Illustrator, using Adobe After Effects. Here's the After Effects file for that animation. I'm probably gonna get rid of this one as well. Or I might just leave it in there because it's under the assets folder. Okay, this is going to be a very sleepy stream. This is a bit different from my other streams because this actually involves some engineering rather than just typing front-end code. Yeah, front-end is relatively easy. At least what I'm doing right now is relatively easy compared to my daily job. But this animation thing today, it took a while. It took six hours for me to figure out, which is probably quite long. Anyway, Right, we're gonna modify this component. Okay, you can start by just copying and pasting some stuff, I guess. That's the first thing we're gonna copy, and like pasting it in here. No, not there. Pasting it right here should just work. But maybe no. Okay, what if we get rid of this? Why is it complaining about that? So stroke width is not something we can specify ourselves, maybe. Or let's just leave it in there and let's see what happens. Let's clean this up. Okay, this is auto-formatted version. And this is running, right? Yeah. Okay, so it successfully compiles. Where did the stroke? Yeah, stroke width is still here. And it's not complaining anymore. Okay. Let's go to the localhost version of our website, which is here. Let's refresh this. Well, we're gonna lose this arrow. I've deleted it already. Too late. And there you go. You can see the arrow animation. Well, the arrow's going on, but that's about it. What happened to the what happened to this part of the animation, right? The small, like, the triangle is going on, yeah. But okay. Oh, I think, yeah, that's coming from what was I thinking? That's obviously coming from the CSS file, and we haven't created the CSS file yet. So okay, components. Is this file under? Where is this file? This file is under animations. So we're gonna go components, new directory, animations, and then in here we're gonna create arrow animation.module.sass, and you have an SCSS file in here. We can run this through an SCSS to Sass compiler. Can we select which one to? Okay. Okay, it only allows me to convert CSS. Let's try this. There must be a website. Oh, come on, just give me one website that just okay, if the next website that I'm looking for isn't the one. Okay, I'll just do it myself then. It's easier anyway. We don't need this one. So let's just copy these things. Let's come here, paste it in, and well, what we're going to do is pretty much get rid of these things, get rid of that, and then like this. Well, that's it. Okay. We have this. What's the dash? Dash is a div, right? Okay, dash is an animation. This is an SVG selector. Okay, so I assume this should just work fine. This is the old one. This is the new one. Okay, it still doesn't work. That's because we haven't imported the file. Genius. Okay. Well, we're not going to import anything actually. Okay, that should import all this. Yes. So now, as you can see, our arrow is moving at the same, like they're moving together basically. Okay. Let me change the color for that. So this is going to be white now. So the arrow tip Okay, okay. You know what? That's way more promising. I think we've done it this time. Okay, now we just want to make it stop. Repeat count indefinite? No. Maybe we can get rid of that. And let's change 20 seconds with like 2 seconds so we see the actual output this time. Okay. We have to find a way to make them start together. Well, this is not an infinite one, right? That doesn't do anything. Last name path. Can we get rid of that? What does that do? I don't know. Like, there are so many things we can probably... Yeah, we can get rid of that one too. So now we have to tell this arrow tip to stop where it ends. What was it called again? Animate motion. Animate motion. 4 words. Direction alternate. Repeat count 1. Fill freeze. How do I make it stop? Oh wait, calc mode. Is this something that I can specify now? Let's not get carried away. One thing at a time. We have to make it. We're gonna make it stop when it reaches the end, right? We don't want it to reset anymore. Repeat count 1. Direction alternate. Let's start with repeat count 1. Maybe that's what we're searching for. No. What does direction alternate do? It probably doesn't. Okay, so if you play the animation more than once, direction probably alternates between directions, so it plays forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards. Okay, I'll keep this tab open, and in here I'm gonna search for okay, fill freeze could be the one. We can get rid of that. Okay. And yes, we did it. We did it. We don't want the stroke in there. I'm just getting rid of the black shade around this arrow. Okay, that kind of looks like what we want it to look like. We only want to make it a bit thinner, the stroke. I mean, let's just go with 5. We're also gonna make it a bit smaller. And then clicking this still works. Like the good thing with React is you can just replace one part of your website, and it's a component itself, right? You can unplug that component and plug another component back in, and then everything will just still work. I mean, the width and height will obviously be broken, but when I click on this, it still functions. What the? Whoa. Okay, I know why that one is, because we've written SVG in here, and that's overriding all of the SVGs we have on our website. But that's fine. That's fine. Does it animate these ones as well? No. Okay, whatever. We can fix that one later, but don't worry about it. I know how to fix that one, so it's fine. Let's get rid of those ones. Let's get rid of data animations. Gonna get rid of this folder. Gonna get rid of that. React Lottie. Goodbye. Okay. Let's decrease the scroll. Fill is transparent. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Now we have to find a way to sync up the tips. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we'll figure it out, right? Everything up until now, everything we've figured out. So freeze, auto rotate. I remember saying something about key type. This one, linear. Okay, I want to see the documentation of this. Animate motion count. Animate motion count. So if I put this in there, what's going to break? I feel like so many things can break right now. No, not really. Okay, that was fine. Okay. So is this, so this does ease out. It seems to do ease out. So if I change this fit ease out, do they sync up now? At the end, yeah. How about we make this 3 seconds? You make the other one 3 seconds as well. Let's just give it more time. How does this look in Safari? I feel like Safari is going to crash and burn again. Yes. How do we make these go in sync? I don't get it. Okay. I want some examples, if I can. Yeah, we can follow paths. We've seen that. Okay. Anyway, I can take a look at that offline, but I think what we're doing right now is kind of promising. Or there's always another alternative to this. Okay, let me refresh this on Google Chrome one more time. I'm going to try it on my phone. Which IP is the server running on? 125. Okay. It doesn't look out of place on a phone because the phone is probably doing a better job than a laptop. Okay, this looks fine on a phone actually. Hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. Oh, I see what this is. Okay. +2, +2, +2, +4. So if I change this with that and then this, what happens to the animation? Maybe I should delete this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay, now they sync up all the time. That was because, yeah, that's because the mathematical equations weren't doing their, like, I cannot explain what I did right now. Right there, I cannot, there's no possible explanation for what I did. Like, I cannot explain what I did on the stream, unfortunately. But you just gotta trust me on that one. Okay, now I'm gonna go back here. Gonna get rid of this semicolon. Hopefully that fixes the issue with Safari. Okay, now it's much better. Okay, this we can go back to the inspector tools and oops. Come on. Oh, this is Safari. That's why it's acting weird. Okay, inspect. Changing the width is not going to do anything, right? Okay, no matter what we do, this guy has a fixed height and width, which is not good. What can we do in this case? Maybe we can modify, yeah, we can modify that. So we can probably change the height to be, oh, okay. Does that mean we have to resize? Okay. Where, at what stage do we determine the height of this element? So this isn't, oh, okay, the sync issue is back. This is just terrible. I don't know what to do with this. back to Safari. Let's see what you do. Okay, Safari seems like it's doing a better job. And obviously this thing has a fixed height and width. And something is giving this thing a relative position, so it's ignoring it. If you go back to the home page, yeah, that's why. What are those things? Let's get rid of those ones as well. So now can we change the height of this guy? Well, it seems like no. This thing is being too difficult. And I certainly don't want to spend too much time on this. I have another alternative in case everything went wrong. Again, I can do something like this where it follows the path of the SVG image and then it goes like this, and then there's a triangle, right? It hits this point and then comes here and then turns left. Should I just change it with that? Because scaling this is going to be an issue, right? And also, like, take a look at this. This is this is unreadable. This is not nice. This is not what you want to see in a nice project. If I saw this as a different, like, as another programmer, I would be just like, nice file. Okay, I'm never gonna touch this. I'm just gonna ignore it, and then yeah, just ignore I would, if I saw this file as an external programmer, yeah, I would just ignore the fact that this file exists and then move on with the project. And then this is how you create bad code, essentially. This is how code rots. Well, I've been reading Clean Code by Robert Martin. It's a good book. You should read it as well. Well, I guess I'm gonna go back to my research on this, but it looks like the best solution is just replace this with that one. Actually, I can try to do that on this stream, on this very stream. Let's open this with Sublime Text, and we're going to copy this, and we're going to come back to IntelliJ IDEA. We're going to replace this path with that, and we're going to remove that polygon. Let me see one last time. Actually, no. Before I do that, I wanna copy, and I wanna save a version of this. I'm gonna go back to Google Chrome. I'm going to, where is our thing? Yeah. I'm gonna paste it here, just in case, you know. Yeah. Okay, that can stay there. And now let's paste the change back in, and we're gonna remove this polygon. And if you go back to our website Oh, it's there. Did you see what it did? Also, let's put it back on Let's put it back on the home page. Refresh. I have to change the stroke offset, something animation related stuff, so I have to change this to 460 if I remember correctly. Yeah. So this is another solution. Still not bad. Still we're saving a lot of space from our bundle size. I can just move this one a little bit further up, and that's probably going to be it. Let's go back to the home page. It's arrow margin and arrow size. Where does this arrow margin come from? Arrow margin, arrow margin. Let's start with 100. Let's go back to 180 pixels. Let's bring this up a little bit, just like that. And I actually want to make it a bit smaller, so let's open it with Illustrator. Let's come back here and let's just make it shorter, short and fat. Make it just smaller in general. Okay, let's save this, come back here. Change the path with the new one, go back to Google Chrome. There you go. This is the simple solution, not the over-engineered one. We only give up. Well, this is still not bad. This is just a different way of doing it, and it looks very similar to the previous one, except the arrow is not moving with the stroke animation, but that's okay. That's okay, right? Now let's just make sure this looks good on mobile as well. Well, it doesn't, because it doesn't scale like it should on mobile. How did the mobile version scale? Let's take a look at that. So this arrow margin, let's make this 170 pixels again. But if you go back to the home page and take a look at the, where did we put it? There, arrow size. So where does this come from in the arrow size? It's here. So arrow size is not something we can determine ourselves now, because it comes from the SVG, and well, it's ultimately the SVG file which determines it. That means it will look good on a desktop site, but when we start moving things around, it's going to start breaking. This is something that we can take a look on the next stream probably. Okay, so in this stream I've given you the extremely complex example, and there's one more thing we can do with this one. Sorry, we can use ease in out without worrying about all the functions and parameters and Bezier curves. Alright, I'm happy with this one, although there's something wrong with the path, so this one shouldn't be there. But if that one is not there, then okay, this is something that I can take a look offline, right? I'll change the shape just a tiny bit. You probably wouldn't even notice, but this is how it's going to look on Safari, and this is how it's going to look on Google Chrome basically. But oof, we only need to figure out the sizing of this. How do we resize this thing? Specifying you know what, this is an SVG, right? I could probably load it in the same way as I do with the other SVGs. So if you go to like image experience, let's say, how do I load images in here? it's more difficult than I thought. What's this? Image link with extension. Oh, okay, it's more complicated. Okay, it's just complicated stuff. But I guess I can use it, right? Then load link, set loaded link dot default. Okay, I need a simpler way of doing this. Just a hacky, nice and hacky and simple. Yes, this is it. That's what I'm looking for. How do I use a signature? I'm gonna load it the same way I do the arrow animation. Okay. Oof, so many things that I'm thinking about, but I can't explain them to you. I've been working my brain for the last 8 hours or so. It's almost been 8 hours now. But so on the next stream, I want to get rid of this ugly mess, and maybe, just maybe, I can put all of these things in an actual SVG file, and then import that SVG file into this component somehow. And because we're importing an SVG, we probably can put it in an image tag, and then we can modify the size of the image tag using CSS variables, right? And then we can resize this thing. I have no idea how it's going to work. But we'll find out. If we can do it, we'll do it. If we cannot do it, then we'll just leave the bad code there, probably. Where does the logo come from? Okay. Yeah, I can probably do something that looks like this. I can import the logo just by using the SVG file, and then apparently you can even give it class names, and I can give it the class name that I used to set the width, and maybe it will set the width. Do I need to use React SVG loader? Maybe. Or maybe this will work. Who knows? We're just guessing and trying and exploring things, and so yeah, I'll keep working on this tomorrow. If it goes anywhere, we'll fix it. If it doesn't go anywhere, we'll just keep Lottie. I don't have any problems with Lottie. It's just 100 kilobytes extra overhead anyway. Alright, thanks for joining the stream, and I'm just gonna go and get some sleep now. Have a good night. Bye.